But it's 1:02, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And I'd like to say again, welcome to everyone. My name is Pam Rich Wheeler. I'm the Executive Director of the Business Center. And our mission is to equip individuals, adult and youth business individuals with the tools they need to start, sustain, and expand their operations. So, the title of today's workshop is Using Social Media to Sustain and Grow Your Business. So, while we're serving you, we are actually able to act on our mission. So, we thank you for joining us today. And before I introduce our two guest speakers, I'd like you to introduce yourself and share with us your expectations for today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the participant section. Or let me see how I'm going to do this. I'm playing a dual role here, trying to allow people to come in. So I'm going to just go around and have people share their expectations. If I miss anyone, by the time I get to the end, you can let me know. But we'll start with Yu Hong. Lou?
Okay, hi everybody. Nice to meet you guys. I'm Hui Hong Liu, or you can call me Frank. I'm the employee from the I'm the finance accounting assistant in CEFN. And what I come today, I expect to learn that the strength and weakness of the social media. Yeah, thank you very
Okay.
much.
Strengths and weaknesses of social
Because
media.
yes, we are just consider about our strategy plan for the social media. Yeah.
Okay. And Paula?
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paula Little, and I am the founder of Blue J LLC. We are a virtual studio that specializes in purpose, intuitive wellness, and also common solutions. And what I'm always open to hear are new ideas of what's happening on social media. Everything changes so fast. So I'll be happy and interested to hearing hopefully something that I don't know. So I thank you for allowing me to be here.
Great. And then Stephen Strader? You're on mute, Stephen. Okay, there you go.
You hear me now? Cool.
Yes.
So good afternoon, everyone. Me and my dad, James Watts, we own Sheba's Soul Plates, a food cart. And right now we're really just trying to figure out how to grow our social media presence, especially on like Instagram and Facebook and things of that sort. Neither one of us are very social media savvy, so I think that this will help us get on the right track.
Great. Good to see you, Stephen. Ron?
Yeah, you as well. You as well.
Ron Williford?
Hey, how you doing? Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ron Williford. I'm the president and founder of Philadelphia Financial Consultants. I just want to improve my presence on social media and be able to incorporate social media into some of my business practices. Thanks for having me today.
And Margaret? Hello, Margaret. Your expectations for today? And you are muted, Margaret. Unmute yourself. Okay, unmute yourself, Margaret. You still muted. I wonder if I can unmute you. I don't exactly know how to do. Oh, there you go.
Okay. I'm a consultant in the healthcare space, and I am always interested in learning how to use social media, what's the best platform. And so that's why I'm here, to learn more about social media.
Okay, and then we have a phone number that begins with 215, ends with 70. Can you introduce yourself and share with us what you'd like to get out of today's session?
Hello, my name is Shane Turles. I am the office manager for community Enrichment Fitness Network. And today I'm just expecting to get how to have a better social media presence.
Great. And if your phone number begins with 215 and ends with 70, if you could share with us who you are and what you'd like to get out of today's session.
Hi, my name is Jenny Bonfilio. I can just be on this for a little bit, but I'm from Community Enrichment Fitness Network also. And I'm just working on a lot of the social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. And I was just wondering on how to like further update them.
And this is John Keeler. Folks, if you're not speaking, if you could mute your microphone, that would stop some of the crosstalk that we're hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And Brittany, if you could introduce yourself and what you'd like to get out of today's session.
Hi guys, I'm Brittany. I work at the Business Center and I'm an education and outreach coordinator. I also do some of the writing there. And what I would like to get out of this meeting is how to use social media more efficiently with like getting my brand out there. Other than that, that's all I have for right now. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Brittany. And Crazy Color Lips, you're next. Introduce yourself and what you would like to get out of today's session.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We're getting now.
Hi, so my name is Maisa, and I'm the founder of Crazy Colored Lips. Thanks to you, Miss Pamela. And today I just want to see what everyone else has, and I want to see how I can improve some things in social media to expand my business some.
Oh my goodness, that's one of our youth entrepreneur graduates. Oh, it's so good to see you. And next we have E. Jackson. Unmute yourself. I see your great smile, but unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, E. Jackson. There you go.
Okay. Yeah. Hi, my name is Malika Jackson. How are you? I'm kind of new on social media. The kids have it down pat. I don't. But I've been recently putting things on social media since the ending of 2019. I'm actually Crazy Colored Lips mother, but I'm doing a whole separate business.
I was going to say
And
that
so
looks like another thing on your face.
Yeah.
Good to see you,
So I'm just interested in seeing what's going on, what I can learn. I'm always learning something new from the people who are social media savvy.
So the reason why you guys might be getting the echo is because you're in the same room if you're on separate devices. So maybe if you can join together, then that will get rid of that. And I think we have one last person to introduce, two more people, and that's Floyd Trotman. Hi, Floyd. What would you like to get out of today's session?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello?
Yeah,
hi.
we can hear you, Floyd.
My name is Floyd Trotman. I'm the president and chief learning officer of Certify Now Project Management Certification Training and Consulting. And we're in the process of determining what our social media strategy is going to be. So I'm just kind of collecting information, see what ideas are out there. And after our research is done, including this event, we'll put a strategy together.
All right, it's good to hear your voice, Floyd. And last but not least, we have James Watts. Hi, James. If you could share with us what you'd like to get out of today's meeting.
Sure. As my son, Stefan, already pointed out, neither one of us is really savvy, with regard to social media. So for me, I'm going to just take in as much as I can and pay attention to the questions that are asked and all the answers that are given so that we can improve our, social media presence. Thanks for having me.
Good stuff, James. Good stuff. So thanks again for all of you joining this session. You're in for a really good treat. David and John, outside of being social media specialists, they are two of the nicest most patient people on this earth. If there was an award for the most nicest and patient people, they would both get it. It would be a tie. So it's nothing like having a social media consultant that you can work with that can be, patient with you and explain everything thoroughly, because like many of you said, it's an area that, people are not comfortable with and they need that explanation. So let me just tell you a little bit about David and John, and then they're going to go right into their presentations. John is the president of Prospect Productions. He's also a media communications consultant, and he specializes in video. He's been a communication director with several nonprofits. I know Lutheran Seminary was one, and WHYY was also another organization. He's operated with various nonprofits, and he serves on the board of the Business Center. David, and I haven't been saying last name, but David Simons, and that was John Kaler, who I just mentioned. David Simons is the president of Kingdom Social Media. He also has established himself as a social media consultant. He's the founder and CEO of Kingdom Social Media. He is also an adjunct professor at Temple in social media markets. And so I'm going to start with David, and then John is going to move in, and of course, there will be a segment for Q&A, and then we will just tell you what's coming up next, what the Business Center has coming up next. And again, I encourage you to use the chat section, because we will be referring to that when we get to the Q&A if we can't, get everybody sharing answers individually. So, David, you are on. We can't hear you, David. There we go.
Getting my mute there. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, John. And thank you all for attending. Thank you for having me. Truly honored to be before you. I'm going to do my best to condense this as fast as possible into the short time we have. We have about, I know I have about 30 minutes, Pam. Is that correct?
That is correct. 20 minutes.
All right, cool. So then I'm going to give you the most valuable information in the short amount of time that I believe from the information I have to share with you. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to present entire screen here. Give me 1 second as it's pulling up. So everybody should be able to see my screen, correct?
Yes, I can see it. I hope everyone else can see. If anyone's having problems.
Yes.
Okay, good. There we go. And I see in the chat somebody said good. Okay, great.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, cool. So then, like I said, it's going to be pretty quick. I'm not going to spend too much time on some of the preliminary stuff, as Pam already went over. So I'm going to share 3 things you need to run a successful social media marketing campaign in today's world. As Pam mentioned, I run a digital marketing agency. Kingdom Social Media, we've been featured many different places and work with a lot of amazing clients all over the world and here in Philadelphia and beyond. I'm going to skip my story. I'm also going to skip what we're going to cover. But there are 3 things I think that you have to have before you can even touch digital marketing that I always sometimes want to skip this step, but it's more important than even the stuff you're going to learn social media wise, because if you don't have the right mindset, it's hard to implement anything that we're about to tell you or teach you today on social media and video So mindset's key. First thing in this current environment is that you have to understand that you have to think abundance, not scarcity. Though that there are limited opportunities, it feels like there's limitations. It feels like you can't do this, you can't do that. You have to start thinking and change your mindset and seeing what's around you, seeing all that's available for you, seeing the glass half full instead of half empty. So really taking that perspective. The second thing is that remember that in this time, that innovation is born in adversity. So bad times produce great products and great services. Some of the greatest companies have been developed in bad economies. Ford Motor Company, Madam C.J. Walker built her empire, first female black millionaire in a depression. Uber and Airbnb were born in bad economies, the last financial crisis, 2008. So just remember that perspective. Don't use this current state that we're in as something to hold you back. The third thing is that the best resource is what you're doing right now, is being resourceful, utilizing what you have, going to the workshops that are available, going to the trainings that are available. So keeping that mindset is key. So like I said, I'm going to skip a lot of the preliminary stuff, but 3 things I want to make sure I get to you in the time that I have. If I were to build a business in 2020, these are the 3 things that I would focus on. And obviously won't be able to go in depth on all of them. But the first thing that you should have is that all businesses must have an email list process. So what do I mean by that? Well, social media is great. But if Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, all of them shut down today, how would you gain access to all your fans and followers? The short answer is you wouldn't. You wouldn't be able to, because you're on rented land. You don't own Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. You only own the assets that you have. So the first thing I always tell people when building a business and especially focusing on the online marketing, social media, you need to create a system and a process that will allow you to generate emails and leads. This is a lot of you heard about this presentation today. You got on the email list, you got on the email and you were sent out information. So it's powerful. Email is the most valuable digital marketing asset you can have. It's more valuable than a phone number, an address, all those things. People will change their hairdo, they'll change everything about themselves, but they won't change that email. I know people will still with AOL emails. You don't have to raise your hand. I know you're in here too. But the key thing is that if you're not building your email list, then you're wasting about 90% of your marketing dollars, because it's an effective way to again reach many in a short amount of time. So how do you build your email list? There's 5 things you need to do. Identify the target audience you want to capture. Create something irresistible for them. I'm going to break these down a little further. So identifying the target audience, you can use Google, you can use research, Facebook advertising. You can find out different ways, social media, and examine who's the target audience you need for your business and what they're into. The second thing is you need to create something irresistible that you give away in exchange to get that email. So I created what's called the Ultimate Social Media Toolkit, because I recognized a lot of people needed to know what tools were valuable and effective to help a business grow. So if you'd like to get this, here's an opportunity for you to get this. 2 things I'm going to do with this. So you can go to Pam, if you're able to put that in the chat box, kingdomsocialmedia.com/toolkit. This is for everyone that's attending. Those that didn't attend won't be able to access this. This is the power of being in the room, right? So you'll go there, you'll get a toolkit. This free toolkit is completely free. So I'm doing 2 things. One thing, I'm showing you by doing it, showing you the process that you should have in your business. The second thing is I want you to take advantage of the toolkit, because there's 60 different tools that you can use for free. As I stated, being resourceful is the best thing you can do right now. So there's also an option to chat further if you'd like. So with that, so let me just repeat that in case you didn't get it. kingdomsocialmedia.com/toolkit. kingdomsocialmedia.com/toolkit. So then you need to have a strong call to action, drive people to do something. If you go to that page, like you may have all seen, there is a simple information that captures information, and then there's a download now. There's all that kind of information. So what you need to do is have something that can draw people to take action. People are 3 times more likely to do something by telling them to do it. So a lot of people don't have clear call to actions in their process. You then need to have what we call a targeted landing page, which is what I just showed you. It's not my website. I noticed I didn't send you to kingdomsocialmedia.com. I sent you to kingdomsocialmedia.com/toolkit. And on there, you can download this free resource. Okay. So then the last step is make sure it looks clean, it looks nice. It's got to be converting, meaning that it draws the attention. It's good color scheme wise. All of these are important. So that we've got the first step. That's the first step. The second step, this is all before I even get into social media, right? All these things need to be in place. That you must have a marketing funnel process, a marketing funnel process. So what is a sales funnel or a sales marketing funnel? A sales funnel is a step-by-step process that allows you to bring your potential customer one step closer to your offer and a buying decision. So we're all in business to generate profit and make revenue, make a difference, and make a dollar, right? So at the same time, you can't just look at social media from a standpoint of likes and engagement. All that stuff is good, but let's be real here. You can't go to the bank and say, I got 1,000 likes. Can I get $1,000 from that? No, you can't cash in your engagement. You can only cash in sales. So likes can't pay the bills, right? So here's the truth. Most people are using social media marketing. I don't care if you have 10,000 followers. How many of those followers translated into sales? That's the most important question. And most people don't have a sales funnel process. You can look it up. There's a stat. There's this girl who had I think it was 1.6 million followers. She couldn't generate, I think it was $36, if I'm not mistaken. I might be off on the numbers, but it was some low amount. She couldn't, out of 1.6 million followers, she couldn't generate $36 in sales to get the agreement to work with a corporation to print some of her products. So that is the truth. You need to have a sales funnel process. You need to train your audience on how to work with you from a business standpoint. So there are several steps in the sales funnel. It's called, and we don't have time to explain that today. There's the top, the middle, and the bottom. The top of the funnel is what we call awareness, more so. Middle of the funnel is engagement. Bottom of the funnel is sales. So these are the steps that a business should have. And you all have these processes. You all have these steps. And I'm going to take you through a quick few examples so you can understand. So if you're buying a ticket, right, online for a flight, right, what happens is the first thing that they do is they typically have an option for you to buy the flight. Then what do they do next? They hit you with the insurance. You know, it's time to buy your travel insurance. Then what do they do next? Then they say maybe you need a hotel or a car. They just took you through a buying process. We all don't realize that we're all going through a sales funnel process in every business. Think about McDonald's. McDonald's has when you buy a burger and let's say you buy a quarter pounder with cheese, and they ask you the immediate question they're trained to ask you is, would you like fries with that? Would you like to make it a value meal? That's called a sales funnel. So we know how it is offline. We need to do the same process online. Same thing for dentists. Every business has a sales funnel. You're buying a GoDaddy domain name. You're buying Vistaprint is an excellent example of this. So why does a business need a sales funnel? A sales funnel allows you to nurture leads and customers over time so you can be profitable. So you need the first step that I talked about. You need the email marketing system, right? Then you have to make sure that when you take people through the email marketing system, you have a sales funnel process. So I'm going to take you through one of mine as an example. So again, I talked about awareness and generating leads and then turning it into sales. So every business should have this process clear. Okay. So at the top of the funnel, in my example, right, I work with a lot of speakers, coaches, consultants, etc. So I have a training. This is a free training that they can get, and this is how I'd post it on social media. I'd put this out on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, depending on where my market is. You want to put this where your market is. So I create a system, and I use a couple systems. I'll share some of those are that enter their information. They watch the free training. Then they go through the next process in going through the process to download the guide. So actually, it's going to come up here in a few more slides. I'm going to show you that. Okay. So there's a few things I'm going to skip because of time. Okay. Skip that. Skip that. Then they go to get. Okay. Then they go here to the next step, right? So they watch the training. This is the actual funnel process that I have. They watch the training. This maybe 10, 15-minute training. Then they book a free breakthrough session to talk about their business. They schedule a time for us to chat, and we go through the process. So I took them from social media. Notice the first thing I did was I took them off of social media into my email, presented them with something that they can benefit from, brought them into the sales funnel process. This is key and important for all businesses to think about. So you may be asking, David, how do I do this? What are the software? How can I do this today? So you can start with a few things. I'm gonna list out a few software systems. I'll tell you what I use. I use a system called ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels. This is a great process system for landing page development. There's all kinds of them out there. I'm not saying this is what I use, and I think is one of the best. There's InstaBuilder, InstaBuilder. There's ClickFunnels, ClickFunnels. There's Lead Pages. Some people use Lead Pages, LEADPAGES, right? So that is a part of a process. Let me go back to the email. There's some systems you can use for email. So say you don't have an email system yet.
And David, I would say once John is talking, those that you just shared,
yeah,
you can put those in that area for everybody. That would be helpful.
Okay.
So 5 more minutes. Okay.
5 more minutes. Cool. So for email, you can use MailChimp. MailChimp is free, and I'll put that in the box as well. Okay. The third thing you need to have. So notice, I just want you to notice this. I'm not talking about social media strategies that worked in 2019. I'm not talking about social media strategies that worked some years ago. I'm talking about what will work right now. So it's a little different than probably what you were expecting. I'm not talking about posting organic stuff all day, every day, because the truth is organic has a place, but right now advertising is what a business needs to get into and needs to leverage to really take full advantage of the system and everything that's going on. So advertising is not optional. I repeat, it's not optional. Today, businesses have to think about this and put a budget aside for advertising. If you think about Google, they own 77% of all the web searches in the US. Mobile accounts for 53% of the paid search. So people are searching and they're looking through things. And so Google advertising is one ad angle. So that's AdWords. The other angle that I recommend is leveraging Facebook ads. Why Facebook ads? I want you to think about this for a second. So Facebook is far less expensive than all the other channels, online and offline. It takes you to reach 1,000 people through a newspaper will cost you about $32. Magazine will cost you $20. Radio about $8. Cable TV $7. Google ads about $2.75. LinkedIn 75 cents. And Facebook ads, when you break it down, that's 1,000 people for 25 cents. That's the equivalent of us that remember knocking on doors. That's the equivalent of knocking on 1,000 doors. Obviously, not every door will open, but that's the equivalent of knocking on 1,000 doors for 25 cents. When you break it down like that, it makes it a no-brainer to advertise. So the second reason is Facebook has more than 600 targeting options. You can reach your market and target. So when I talked about targeted landing pages, I can reach whoever I need to reach. If I heard some of you work in the education space, if I want to reach the people that are in that and finance, and if I'm looking for couples that are newly married, I can reach them. People that newly purchased a home. All the things that are Facebook collects so much data on all of us. I mean, it's mind blowing. So your market is on there. And when I talk about Facebook, I'm not just talking about Facebook. I'm talking about Instagram as well, because they own both. The other aspect is that Facebook rewards you when you put good content out there. So having good content and leveraging the content is a powerful resource. So a lot of you may say, David, I've done Facebook ads. Well, most people that say they've done Facebook ads are not really using the real system. What they're doing is using boosted posts. Boosted posts are not the way to do true and traditional, to do effective advertising through Facebook. So boosted posts are honestly Facebook's way to grab your money, because the real process is a little more complex. So boosted posts are significantly more limited than the full ad system. So just by doing that alone, you're doing it wrong. So if we had time, I would have taken a survey, asked how many of you are doing boosted ads. Actually, if you want, you could still share that in the chat box. Just type in, yes, I'm doing boosted ads, or yes, I've done it before, or no, I haven't. It's good to know, it'd be good to know. So Facebook ads through the ads manager give you more detailed information. So let me take you through this last step, and then I'm done. Yes, I heard from Ron. He said I'm done. Yeah, use boosted posts. So this is what you're missing out when you use boosted posts. Access to what's called retargeting in the Facebook pixel. This is a piece of code that you add onto the site. We've all experienced this. Somebody comes to your site, they visit the site, they leave your site, then all of a sudden they see your ad on, so they would say, let's say these are a pair of shoes. They see the pair of shoes everywhere they go. They're reading articles on Huffington Post and entrepreneur.com. You have to, today's new world, you have to be in front of your customer more than ever before because they're distracted, everybody's online. So you've got to keep your message in front of them. And retargeting is a powerful tool. So retargeting your customer, so that how would you like to have your product or service seen over and over and over again? And retargeting is the way you do that. So for the purposes of time, I will wrap up there. I guess we'll take questions later towards the end. But thank you for your time.
Thank you, David. And again, we will please post your questions in the chat, and when John finishes, we'll be addressing the questions. John, you're on.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to go quickly through just a little bit of talking about my favorite thing, which is video, and also a little bit on podcasts. So David talked about picking your target audience and determining who you want to reach. And then once you have that, and there are all ways to do it, the content that is becoming more and more popular and is not as difficult to do as you may think, and that's video and associated with the podcasts. And I throw that in because they're not exactly the same thing. Just some statistics to give you an idea. If you live on Twitter, you will see more and more videos coming through on Twitter, including fascinating things like political advertising that get you a much more engagement when it comes through a Twitter feed. If there's just text in there, folks tend to look at it, but you get 10 times more attention if there's a video. And promoted tweets, these are ones where you pay for advertising, just like David was talking about with Facebook. It gets more, 50% more on a cost per engagement because there's a video there. It's something that people want to watch and want to see. If you lived on LinkedIn, a business-directed social media platform, users are 20 times more likely to share a video on the platform than any other kind of post. And it gets people to watch, and it gets attention to you and your brand. Pinterest, if you're selling things on Pinterest or it's showing products, 2.6 times more likely to make a purchase. And that's the conversion part David was talking about. After they see something about your brand or product on the Pinterest platform. Video generates more engagement than any other type on Instagram. So if you're in Instagram, which remember is owned by Facebook, so a lot of the same rules apply that David was talking about with Facebook. Video is, again, a most engaging thing. What folks don't realize possibly is that while Google is by traffic the most popular website, the second most popular is YouTube, which is owned by Google. So Google is getting a lot of engagements with people. And back to Facebook, as David was talking about, 8 billion video views a day on Facebook. That's a lot of stuff. So there's all kinds of information on this, and I don't want to get into details because we don't have the time and it gets overwhelming. But here's a website to go to if you want to see a really long and detailed list of information about how people are using different areas of social media. And what they found, and it's more and more becoming the case, is that video is the most productive element in digital marketing. If you invest a little bit into video, and as you saw from those other numbers, people will pay more attention to your message. 78% of people who are online will watch a video each week. 55% will watch a video each day online somewhere in social media. That's a lot of eyeballs, and some of them might be yours. 70% of customers in survey prefer learning about a product or service through video, not a description, but a video that tells about and shows your product or service. And in these days when still folks are not necessarily going to be coming to a physical location for a business. In fact, the city just announced that some areas, the city is pausing reopening, that indoor dining, gyms, and other activities won't start up now until August 1st. That just came from NBC 10. So how do you engage with people? How do they get to know who you are if you're just seeing text from you? And what's more interesting is that people are 1.5 times more likely to watch on mobile. I don't know if you're watching as much in these days when folks aren't out as much. And on Facebook, a very important note, if you're creating videos and you just have somebody talking, 85% of users on Facebook, according to Facebook, prefer to watch video without sound. And Instagram, again, owned by Facebook, 65% of ad impressions come from videos. And here's a conversion number. 75% of users take action after viewing brand videos. That's an amazing number. So what can you use video for? I'm not going to tell you how to do it or how to make these things. You can go into a lot of stuff and a lot of time with it. But remember, something that is really common these days is that most folks have a high quality video camera in your pocket, in your bag, sitting on your countertop. It's not like the old days where I would drag in a $15,000 video camera or two and shoot a video. You have the basic tools right with you. You can use it to market you and your product or service. Like I said, if folks are not coming to a physical location, you can show that physical location to them. Give a short tour of your business. If you're a restaurant, show a little bit of the restaurant, show a little bit of the menu, show a couple of meals that you create for people. Another area to do it is webinars, and they are exploding all over the place. A live webinar like this can help you to communicate with your audience or potential audience. And then you can make a recording of it and share it later. Instruction. Are you offering a service where people need to learn how to do something? You can teach how to use a product. You can inform them of your service. You might explain what that service is and some of the things they need to prepare about. Say if you're having a meeting with them in a video online or on your Facebook page, could explain what they need to get together in order to see you. That not only teaches them something and informs them, they also get used to seeing you as someone who they might become a customer with. And then just personal communication. My wife was upstairs earlier and she was talking to her doctor. Consultations, help and support for people who can't necessarily come to a location, or if you don't have a physical location for your business. Video is a great way to do it. Google Meet is something that now is available on every single Gmail account, no matter what account you have. It used to be high-end for high-end accounts, but your Gmail account, if you have Gmail, has Google Meet, exactly what we're using now, turned on. All you have to do is add it to your calendar or set up a Meet live. So it's there, and this is video. This is something where you can do face-to-face, you can show things. I was watching a webinar yesterday from the Horticultural Society showing about some raised beds, and they had two people who were just taking shots. One thing that I've learned as somebody who's been producing video for way too many years, like about 50, is that the high quality stuff isn't exactly what people are looking for anymore. You can make your camera jiggle every once in a while or have to move it around, and it still is good because it's communicating. And then the other side of things I just wanted to mention, because they're becoming more and more popular, are podcasts. 37% of people have listened to at least one podcast in the past month, and the place called Podcast Insights has a lot more information on this. Why? It's portable. My phone lets me put a podcast on my watch, rather. Lets me put a podcast. So that I'm working outside, I can just play a podcast. And it's multitasking friendly. Unlike a video where you have to be watching it, the audio from a podcast can still engage people at the same time. Maybe they're going through email or working in their office or their home office. And so it's another way to communicate information to folks. It's simpler than video because you don't have to worry about pictures, just sound. And if you like to talk and you have folks who are maybe customers who like to talk or colleagues who like to talk, it's a great way to do it. And I just point out this site called thepodcasthost.com. They have a lot of resources on there. If you want to see technology or just learn more about it, there it is. So that takes me out of that. It's a quick little overview to give you an idea of just think about what you can do with media, with video and audio that folks like to engage with. So thanks.
Thank you, John. And David, I want to remind you to put those resources in the chat box that you shared during your presentation. John, if you shared a couple as well, if you could put those resources in the chat box as we take questions.
Sure.
So I'd like to start with what I'm seeing so far, and I can answer this one. Will the slides be available? The whole thing is being recorded, so it would include video, right? It wouldn't just be the audio.
Correct. This video also.
Yeah. So you'll be able to see the slides in the recording, and we're going to make the recording available to everybody. Another question. We do have a business owner who is here today on the call, I believe, and she was a nail salon, and what she's doing now is she's shutting down the nail salon, and she's going to be selling her products online. She hasn't set up anything, so if you each could give me 3 things that you think you should do right off the bat to establish your online presence, what would they be? David, I'll start with you.
Okay.
And this is Ruby and Nails. Is the name of the business.
Ruby and Nails, and so it was a salon, but now you're selling the products online only.
She'll be selling. She makes natural skincare and hair care products. She wants to discontinue the nail salon and continue to sell the products online.
Got it. First thing I'd do is I'd set up a Shopify account. If you don't have it already, I believe Shopify was given around 2 to 3 months for free for their initial months because of COVID. I'm not sure if that special is still going on, but that's the first thing I would do, being that you're e-commerce based. So Shopify is one of the best platforms for any business that's selling online, especially a lot of product volume of products. So that's what I would do first. The second thing I would do is have a offer that you recommend for people to take advantage of, whether it's a special that includes like a so what we call a tripwire offer. Hotels use this to get you to come to their hotel, or a casino uses this to get people to a casino, right? They give you something very either free or cheap. So I would get your lowest cost item. So we call this also name is just low. It's leaving my name. It's leaving my head. I don't know what the name is right now, but loss leader. There it is, loss leader. So you might take a little hit on it, but you may or may not, depending on the price. But the price point should be very low. So like your $5, $6, whatever item you have, $2, $3 item that you can bonus into a package, and I would give that out into a form of an advertisement. So taking what I talked about earlier, putting it into a sales funnel process, maybe lead them to get the low cost item, then upsell to another item that might include 2 things in it or 3 things in it. And then so you create a sales funnel process for that product, your best selling product. And then lastly, I would create an advertising campaign that would be used through Facebook and Instagram. And specifically, since you're in the salon space or the hair space, you should do Instagram. So I'd predominantly focus on Instagram. You can do Facebook too, but I do an ad to that offer and sending people to that store, which eventually will sell your product.
And John, what would be the 3 things you would recommend?
Well, specifically with this product line, you have things that are very visual. You can show application for the products. You can show the products themselves, talk about how they work, and use those as part of information. Again, Instagram is a great place for this stuff. Short videos that would tell about the different products. Maybe if you have someone who has been using them, get a testimonial from them. And you don't have to be live. You can do a Zoom or a Meet or something. I work with Weaver's Way, and we did interviews with folks, and we did them online because I couldn't go and shoot them. It would have been nice, but I couldn't. So all of those little elements are instant testimonials that you can get from your customers that new customers can see. And remember at the end to always send them somewhere to make a purchase. As like David said, you have to close the sale. And so at the end of it, you remind folks, this is a product, this is how much it costs. Click on my link in Instagram and it will take you to the store where you can purchase it. Way back when I managed a camera store, and the hardest thing to do was to get my salespeople to stop playing with the camera and turn around to the customer and say, would you like one? And 9 times out of 10, they would say, yes. And they would be happy because they finally asked to finish what they came for in the first place. So there are 3 nuggets to kind of build in, I think.
Here's another question from Wynell. I'm entering the notary loan signing part of my current business. How do I use the examples you just discussed in a non-tangible business? So basically, she has a service. And I'm glad that she asked the question because we have a number of service providers and we want to address service people as well. Do you need me to repeat that question, or you can see it in the chat?
Yeah, I can see it. So it's funny you mentioned this. Hey, Wynell, I recognize the name. So what you would do is this: if you were to apply the same principles for you, it'd actually be easier than an e-commerce business. Is sell something that gives them some insight on notary, right? So give something, not sell, give something that has something to notary. So for 10 reasons why, 10 ways you can leverage notary for your business. I'm just going, again, on an example off the top of my head. But if somebody doesn't realize how notary can help them or what they can benefit from, whatever that is, you need to find something that you can, like I shared an example of a toolkit, but you need to find out who your most your ideal customer is and what is their main problem. Create a guide or a resource around that problem, and then that's free, that doesn't give the whole house away, but at least gives them helps them in the process. Then after that, you build in a way to consult with them, to chat with them, to connect with them, and because they'll probably need to learn more about your process and the things that you do. And then you can go into the notary loan signing and all the things that you provide.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Wynell, for that question. Here is a question from Paul.
Yeah, answering if you can't, I'll read the question because we cannot see it.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, John. I couldn't get to it fast enough.
And put them all together with music to create a 2 to 3 minute documentary. Yes, I do. That's one of the things that I've been doing for a number of years, family stories and things like that. One of my clients is Commonwealth Youth Choirs, and I've been putting videos together for them for years. And back in the seminary, that was often something that we would do. The only thing about music is that if you're going to be putting this online, like on YouTube, you have to have licensed music, or in YouTube's case, they will put up an advertisement in your video. So I'm not sure exactly what your specific use is, but that's something where, remember, YouTube isn't there to serve you. YouTube is there to serve Google. And so eyeballs are eyeballs, but there are legal issues when it comes to taking music that someone owns rights to. Just the last couple of days, the Rolling Stones have announced that they're going to sue Donald Trump's campaign because they keep using his music, and they've said you can't do that. But yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
And if you look on the Business Center's website, John did a short video for our 20th anniversary for our award recipients our youth and adult award recipients from our best practices in action. And what we did was we had them videotape themselves. We gave them questions, and then we put music to it after they answered the questions. John put the music to it and was able to edit it. So because people had their own phones, you can do stuff like that. You can get that testimony from your client, and then you can edit that and just tell them to send it to you. So you don't have to physically, I guess, like, back in the day, you probably physically had to go out and videotape it. But now, since they had their own phone, they can videotape themselves, send it to you. You can edit it or have someone like John edit it and put the music to it.
Absolutely. The world of television is changing.
Yeah, thanks. Are there other questions? One of the things that was mentioned was a campaign. And David, if you could just shortly give us a definition of a campaign so that people understand. I was talking with a business owner earlier. I don't know if she's on, Victoria from Victoria's Kitchen, but she was saying, I need something consistent. I need something that's going to run on a regular basis, blah, blah. I said, oh, you talking about a campaign. So let's just put that formal definition out there.
Yeah. I think the best way to break down a campaign is to, if I said ba da ba ba ba, what would you say? Right? What was the next words that you would say after that?
I'm loving it.
There you go. Or the best part of waking up is blanking your what? Cup, right? Folgers in your cup. So that is
not anymore, but that's okay.
Right? So those whole concepts those are campaigns. They ran things over and over and over and over to get it embedded into your head and even your heart and in your subconscious, right? So the power of a campaign is that you've got to have a message. You can use things as John talked about. Video is a powerful method for utilizing a campaign. So a campaign is essentially, when we use it from a marketing, social media standpoint, it's your message that you're trying to get across. Whether your message is a brand awareness, like McDonald's and Folgers used, that was more of brand awareness. Or is your campaign designed to help people learn about a free trial that you have, offer that you have? It's getting the message embedded into someone over and over and over again with a consistent branding, consistent message, consistent tone. There's so much that goes into a campaign. It could be email, it could be social media. Campaign is multi-dimensions. It can leverage video, it can leverage audio, it can leverage everything possible. So the campaign is the organized effort that you use to bring that about.
And the campaign forces you to create a schedule. So that inconsistency that you want to get rid of, or just doing things haphazardly, that's what a campaign it forces you to put a schedule together and say, okay, I'm going to run this for 3 months on this date at this time in front of this audience. And then whatever awareness you're trying to bring to them will be, like David said, will stick with them. Any other questions? We'll take one more question. Wow. So that means I'm looking directly at Lindsay. Lindsay's like in the middle of my screen. Welcome, Lindsay. So I'm saying that this must have been such a great workshop that you got all your answers to it. You know you're going to get the recording, so I guess you'll look back at the slides. So we're so happy that John and David did such a fantastic job that there's no more questions and it's 1:56. So what I would like to do is just share with you what we have coming up. Lindsay's giving me the thumbs up, so that's just fine. I know we did all right if he's giving us the thumbs up. What I'd like to share with you is something exciting, an exciting free workshop that we're having tomorrow. So a lot of you've been hearing talks about COVID one COVID-19 grant, right? That is for those business owners that have less than $1 million in revenue, less than 25 employees. Well, guess what? We are doing the workshop tomorrow. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. We don't want to wait because you only have 10 days, 10 working days for the first round. Now, the good news is that there will be a second, a third, and a fourth round. But you want to get in on the first round and you want to know all the facts. So we're doing a workshop with Jim Burnett, and he's from WPFSI, which is a CDFI, which stands for Community Development Financial Institution, Ken Scott, and Larry Griffin from Beach Company. So please sign up for that. That just went out today because they just made the announcement today. And that's why we are having it tomorrow. We originally going to have the workshop next week, but we were like, you know what? If you only have 10 days for the first round, we better do it tomorrow. So I hope you all can join us for that. It's also on our website, on the calendar of upcoming events. Second thing that I want to mention to you is that this is the first week of our Youth and Money Camp. Now, Lindsay, I know you inquired about it. It is in full effect for our young people because we know the future is our young people. And we're the entrepreneurs now, but they're going to be taking care of us in our communities later. So we want to make sure that they can start thinking about their own businesses. And if you have a young person, we have sessions in July, we have sessions in August. So that's on our website. Make sure that if you know anyone 7 to 17, that you share that information with them if you don't have a child of your own. And also, if you like to sponsor a child, reach out to our office. We have all that information on the website. And lastly, I want to mention that it's never too late to become a member of the Business Center. Our seminars that there are a fee for, you will get a discount for that. The classes that we have that are fees, you get a discount to that. You also get a listing in our e-store, 2 hours of business coaching from our consultants. And Ron Williford is one of our consultants on this call that does some of the coaching. And he will be doing coaching for COVID-19. So actually for all the COVID, we are offering free coaching because of the situation. We want people to get their paperwork in, and we do not want to charge because we know that this is confusing and challenging. So that's not something that we are going to charge for. But if it's for business planning or if you want client surveys, then you may want to become a member, and we do those things for you. So that adds to what David and John was sharing today in terms of being able to cater to your target market and understand what they want. Our membership also includes an annual financial analysis. It's just like you go in for an annual checkup. Well, you need to do the same for your business and know what your numbers mean to you, because you should be managing by the numbers. It also includes HR support at a discount and legal support. We did a legal session a couple of weeks ago with Bernard Williams from Company Counsel LLC. I think some of you were on that call. And Ron Williford also with his financial services business. And last but not least, it includes conference room rental at a discount and press release discounts. So if we can be of service to you, this is also on our website, which is www.thebizctr.com. And John, if you could put that in the chat. Again, it's thebizctr.com. And we are at 2:01. I talk too much. So wanted to share what was going on at the Business Center, close us out, and wanted to also thank you again for attending. And if we can be of service to you, you can reach out to us. I hope the information was helpful to you today. And everybody who's on this call will receive the recording. If you do not receive the recording, please contact our office. Thank you again. Have a super rest of the week.
Thank you, everyone.